Everybody wants to buy a home that will only go up in value. Well, you need to watch this video because here are the 10 places in the Kansas City metro where homes are shooting up in value. The first one is Kansas City, Missouri, specifically in Jackson County. If you're new to the channel or new to the area, you may not know this, but Kansas City is located in both Missouri and in Kansas. A lot of the times when people talk about Kansas City, whether you're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs or the Royals or anything else notable about Kansas City, that's typically on the Missouri side. Now, the Missouri side is divided into 3 different counties. It's Platte County up north, Clay County up north, and when I say up north, I mean north of the Missouri River, and then everything below the Missouri River south is Jackson County, Missouri, and a big chunk of Kansas City is located in that landmass in Jackson County. Now, if you have a home in Jackson County, when we compare the average prices of homes in Jackson County, last year it was $270,000, and this year it has gone up to $298,000, which is a 10% increase in average price, and in median price it went up from $220,000 to $233,000, which is a 6% increase. If you combine those two numbers, Jackson County, especially the Kansas City part of Jackson County, has gone up 8% year over year. Now, when we compare real estate, we're comparing it year over year, and we are comparing quarter 3 of 2023 to quarter 4 of 2024. So when I talk about 2024 prices, I'm talking about the quarter 4, which are the months of July, August, and September, and comparing all of the prices to quarter 3 and seeing how much prices have come up since quarter 3 of 2023. You compare it year over year because real estate, as you probably know, is cyclical. It's hot during the spring, it's hot during the summer, and sometimes starts to cool down during the fall. So we're specifically kind of comparing the end of the summer towards early fall, the real estate cycle. And Kansas City, specifically Jackson County, which has a lot of fun stuff to do. Its downtown is all that stuff. It's super diverse. It's going to be more diverse in many, many ways than Clay County and Platte County. Those are more, I would say, homogenous in terms of like the home builds. But when you come down to Jackson County, you have such different areas. In fact, let me show you on a map, and let me show you a couple homes in Jackson County so that you can get a sense of how diverse Jackson County can actually be. Okay, so when I'm talking about Jackson County, I'm talking about this area underneath the Missouri River, south of the Missouri River, excluding other cities that are in Jackson County like Independence and Blue Springs and Lee Summit. Those are great areas as well, but they're just not seeing the same type of growth, at least in this quarter, that Jackson County, the Kansas City part of Jackson County has. Now, let me get into some of the really cool and unique properties in Jackson County. You could live right near Westport in this condo if you wanted to. This is a $149,000. It's only 2 beds, 1 bath, but you can see it's a nicely renovated condo. If you lived here, you could literally walk to Westport. You could walk to the Crossroads. You could do basically anything that you wanted to do. If the streetcar is going to come right through here, and it's going to be a sweet place to live. If you decided to move out a little bit farther and you wanted to get to Brookside or Armour Hills, so let's go into Armour Hills and let's check out this house for $520,000. You've got this historic old home in Armour Hills. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, actually pretty similar to the layout in which we live right now, I would suspect. But $520,000 gets you a home like this in Armour Hills in the Brookside area, which is very desirable. So let's look at another place and come here to this $1.6 million home. And this is a home that's going to be about 4,000 square feet. A giant home, definitely in the luxury tier in Kansas City. Now, you may be coming from a place, and comment below where you're watching from. You may be coming from a place where $1.6 million actually doesn't get you that much. But in Kansas City, you get an elite home, a beautiful home, freshly remodeled, all done up in Sunset Hills. And this is kind of where, the Chiefs players live. This is where Patrick Mahomes used to live. And so you can see a brief glimpse of the diversity in Jackson County and the homes located there. And so this is a sweet place to buy a home because there are a lot of people that want to be in Kansas City, specifically in Jackson County, because if you're in Jackson County, you're also close to downtown, you're close to the Crossroads, you're close to KCP&L, you're close to River Market. There's all of the entertainment and stuff to do. That's all located right there. And if you want to live in the hubbub, in just the middle of everything, Kansas City, specifically the part in Jackson County, may be where you want to buy your next home. If you're looking to relocate to Kansas City, our team would love to help you. 816-4-MOVE-KC. We promise you. There are a lot of people calling right now, and a lot of people texting, and a lot of people emailing you. But if you send us an email or call or text, we will get back to you within a day. Give us a day at least to get back to you, and we will answer any questions that you have about moving to Kansas City. And if you're looking to purchase a home in Kansas City, that is right in our wheelhouse. We would love to help you. 816-4-MOVE-KC is the main way to reach us, but you can also email us as well. Now, moving on to the number 9 area where you want to buy a home in Kansas City, we move up to a surprise area, Excelsior Springs. The reason I say that Excelsior Springs is actually a surprising area to show up on this list is because if you've been following the channel and you watch these quarterly market update videos, you will know that Excelsior Springs commonly shows up on the other list, the list where homes lose value quarter after quarter, year over year. And this is why you want to stay subscribed to this channel, you want to like this video, and you want to make sure that when we release content, you're up to date, because especially if you're buying a home or living in a home in Kansas City, you're going to want to know the market trends. Again, the market is cyclical, and it's always hard to identify the reasons why one area might show up on a list of 10 worst areas in terms of value to buy a home, and then in a different quarter, it'll show up on the 10 best areas in terms of value to buy a home. But this one, number 9, Excelsior Springs, is showing up on our good list. And where Excelsior Springs is located kind of had me thinking that it was always going to be on the quote-unquote other list. However, you can see right now it has gone up year to year. Now, in quarter 3 of 2023, the average price of home in Excelsior Springs was $247,000. And now in quarter 4 of 2024, it's $263,000, which is a 6% increase. And the median price went up from $223,000 to $255,000, which is actually a 13% increase, meaning that Excelsior Springs as an area has increased year over year 10%, which is a big jump for Excelsior Springs. The people who live in Excelsior Springs love it out there. You've got the historic Elms Hotel. You've got the feel of a really small town, but you're not super far away from the rest of the Kansas City metro. If you wanted to drive downtown, it'll probably only take you 30 to 35 minutes. You've got land if you want land. If you want to purchase acreage, you can find it around or near the Excelsior Springs area. And that's typically what I see people wanting to do, is they want to move to a more populated area, out to an area like Excelsior Springs or Kearney or Lawson or Holt. Some of these smaller towns are growing exponentially because people who bought a home in the Northland or bought a home in Liberty or bought a home in Parkville are kind of saying, you know what? I want more land. I want a homestead. I want to, have chickens. I want to have goats. I want to have cows, whatever else they want. They move out there and they buy land, and that's what's causing the prices out there to go up. So Excelsior Springs has gained ground, and let me show you a house that's located in Excelsior Springs that I think is a really good-looking home that can get you an idea of what you might be able to get in Excelsior Springs. So this cute little house is listed right now for $409,000, almost $410,000. So this house is a 2-bed, 2-bath, brand new build for $409,000 in Excelsior Springs. So if you want a brand new home in a growing area, then this could be the place for you. It's close to the Excelsior Springs golf course, which, by the way, if you play golf, is a notoriously difficult golf course, especially the greens there are very, very fast. It's a fun place to play. It's a really cool area, but you can see brand new, beautiful, this is probably LVP flooring, beautiful LVP flooring, new white kitchen cabinets with the gold accents, the gold sink, and the lights and everything. Looks really sharp, it looks really clean. And of course, buying a new home typically comes with a new home warranty, will typically come with a 1-year limited home warranty that covers all your appliances to make sure that everything is okay. And these builders do build quality homes, and you can rest assured that if you do move into a brand new home, a lot of your maintenance is going to be taken care of for years to come. income. Area number 8 in which home values are growing year over year is Smithville, Missouri. If you don't know anything about Smithville, Smithville is a lake. Smithville Lake is our biggest lake. You can't live on the lake like a lot of our other lakes in the Kansas City area because it is owned by the Army Corps of Engineers, and there is no lakefront property that you can live on in Smithville. However, Smithville is an attractive area because people like to move there. Again, it's the quaint small town vibes that you get in Smithville, and also being close to a large body of water where you can swim and fish and relax. I've played both the Smithville golf courses up there, and they are both very hard because they're right on the lake, and your ball gets blown every which way by the wind, but it is tremendously fun. A lot of people like going up to Smithville for recreation, and those who don't like going up to Smithville for recreation like to live in Smithville because all the outdoor recreation is there at your fingertips. Smithville also has a cute little downtown area where you can get a coffee, you can get a bite to eat, you can explore these quaint little shops. Now I have a quick story of my listing, the last listing that I did in Smithville. I thought it would go like that. I thought it would hit the market on Thursday, get an offer by Friday, and be wrapped up by the weekend, but it ran a little bit longer than I thought. Eventually, we did get an offer, and we did sell the house for a great price for the seller. So if you're looking to sell a house, our team does that too. But it sat just a little bit longer than I expected it to, which is why I was very surprised to see Smithville on this list. But as you can see, the stats don't lie. From quarter 3 of 2023, the average home price in Smithville was $433,000. In quarter 3 of 2024, the average home price jumped all the way up to $479,000. That is a 10%, almost an 11% increase in average value. In median value, it jumped from $365 last year to $409, almost $410 this year, which is a 12% increase. Combine those two numbers, you get a total increase year over year of about 11.5% in Smithville. So if you have a home in Smithville right now, at least compared to this time last year, it is growing in value. People are moving out there because, like I said, they like the small town vibe, they like the charm, they like the lake. Now moving on to number 7. Number 7 is my old stomping grounds of Gladstone, Missouri. I say my own stomping grounds because if you don't know my story, I moved here from Los Angeles. Shout out to the Dodgers, who are recent World Series champions. Have to rep my team, of course. I moved out here from Los Angeles, and I bought a home in Gladstone, Missouri, not knowing anything about the Kansas City area, not knowing anything about Gladstone. We lived in Gladstone for a few years, and then we bought a home here in Jackson County, Missouri. So, hey, shout out to us. Both of our areas are on this list, at least in quarter 3 of 2024. But we bought a home in Jackson County in Kansas City proper. We live really close to the Nelson Atkins Museum and Midtown, and so we love this area of Kansas City. However, we still own our home in Gladstone, and we use it as a rental. That's kind of our story of moving here to Kansas City. We decided to move here to Kansas City, decided to settle down, invest in real estate, and it has been a fantastic place for us to live. And so that's why Gladstone is my old stomping grounds. Used to live there, have a bunch of fond memories of my children growing up there, making memories at the community pool, going on walks. It's a great area, and we don't regret living there at all. So the stats for Gladstone. Back in 2023, the average price of a home in Gladstone was $256,000, and now it has climbed up to $287,000. So that is an increase of 12% in average price. And in median price, it has gone up from $250,000 to $277,000 this year, which is an 11% increase, which total combined is an 11.52% increase, just barely edging Smithville. Gladstone is a great area. The only thing that I will say about Gladstone, I think that if you're moving to Kansas City, you are going to love Gladstone because it has everything that you need, and you are pretty centrally located in the Northland of Kansas City. Another thing to note about Gladstone is it is one of the cities that is completely annexed by Kansas City. It's completely surrounded, so no matter where you go outside of Gladstone, you're going to end up in Kansas City, Missouri. There are people who specifically want to avoid living in a Kansas City, Missouri address because if you live there, you have to pay the 1% Kansas City earnings tax, meaning that whatever you make, you have to pay 1% to the city of Kansas City. when you do your taxes, because it goes towards our trash infrastructure and those types of things. That's what it goes to support. Now, if you live in Gladstone, you don't necessarily deal with Kansas City, Missouri water or Kansas City, Missouri trash. You actually deal with Gladstone water. You deal with Evergy, which is our power company, almost no matter where you live, except for in Kansas City, Kansas, they have BPU, which is, it's a different conversation. So you'll have Evergy for power, you'll have Gladstone water, and then you'll have to find your own trash provider. We used to use a service called Republic Services, and there was also another one, I think it was called Platte City Recycling or Platte City Trash or something like that. We thought that it was weird that you didn't have like a city collecting trash when we lived in Gladstone. But you know what? It was efficient. I would say probably a little bit more efficient than us living here in Kansas City. So we have nothing bad to say about Gladstone. And as you can see, a lot of people moving there because they like the area, they like the homes. It's a peaceful area with a bunch of great parks that is located right in the heart of everything. Let me show you a home in Gladstone just so you know exactly what I mean. Now check out this beautiful tucked away home in Claymont Woods in Gladstone. I actually came across this home because I have a buyer who was reached out through the channel and was looking at this home. So I've been inside this home. It is a really sweet location. You can see the arched ceilings, tons of natural light with those casement windows, built-in bookshelves. I love built-in bookshelves. I'm a big reader. I enjoy having books. And since I've had kids, haven't had too much time to read, but that would be a sweet library, wouldn't it? I mean, you could mount your TV right over that beautiful stone mantelpiece, start a fire, put like a chair right there, and just have a great reading session. I'm reading Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck right now, and it just reminds me of how much I love reading. This kitchen is stunning. It's great. I mean, if you like this rustic kind of older look, then it is great. It was well maintained. You can't tell by the pictures, but it's a very tastefully done, well maintained house that really went under contract pretty quickly, and I don't blame it. This was a house that was great value, well done. I forget the price. Let me look it up right now. It was $475,000, and it's just really tucked away. It's a ton of privacy, nice garage, freshly painted, great laundry room. So you can see that this house in Gladstone did sell fairly quickly. Decent sized rooms that you could use for anything that you like. So this house in Gladstone kind of reminded me, man, I really liked living up there. It's a great place to live, and I think that you're going to like it too. Okay, for number 6, we are going to take a short little jaunt over the state line and get to the Kansas side. Number 6 is Lenexa, Kansas. Lenexa, Kansas. Now, in quarter 1 and quarter 2, Lenexa, Kansas was on the wrong list. It was on the list of areas that were losing value year over year in Kansas City, and I just really could not understand it because Lenexa is known for beautiful homes, great school system, solid community center that's completely redone, close to everything in the metro, a very, very beautifully desirable area in the metro. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out why is Lenexa continually on the downtrend. But now it is on the up. Quarter 3 of 2023 saw the average home price in Lenexa at $507,000. It climbed year over year to $576,000, which is a 13% increase compared to this time last year. Now, if you look at median home price, it went from $465,000 all the way up to $515,000, which is a 10% increase. Combine those two numbers, you get an overall 12.25% increase in Lenexa year over year. And really, that's kind of what I would expected. If you would have told me that Lenexa is always gaining in value and always on the top 10 list of most desirable areas to live in Kansas City, I would have just, without looking at the numbers, I would have just told you, yeah, that's probably true. I could see that happening. But Lenexa is a wonderful area. Let me show you a cool home in Lenexa that I think is a good example of why people love to live there. Okay, this home is on the market right now for $415,000, completely remodeled in Lenexa, about 1,900 square feet. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath home, split-level home. And this has just completely been gutted and remodeled. I've actually seen this house too, taken one of you YouTubers or people who have contacted me through YouTube through this home, offered on another home and got them under contract, but this home was a good example of a really nice remodel, really nice flip. in Lenexa. You've got great school systems. You've got this brand new, I think it was like engineered hardwood. I don't exactly remember the type of flooring that they put in here, but I do remember I see a lot of flips, people, and this one was actually really well done. You've got all new ceiling fans, freshly painted, this new vanity. I think the tile was completely new. The tile of the shower was completely new as well. So this is a good example of what a nice home in Lenexa can look like. They liked this kind of unique bedroom area. I don't remember if this was a bedroom area or a closet area, because I think it was like expanded off of the closet. Yep, it was. So this was this was an area that's kind of like a fourth bedroom that was all the way up in the attic area. So this is a cool, really nicely done remodel in Lenexa, and they really enjoyed this home. Unfortunately, they offered on another home, and they did get that one under contract. So congratulations to them. If you're watching this, you know exactly who you are. So Lenexa, Kansas, this is a great area and a great home for $415,000 in Lenexa, and you can find these homes all over the place. When I show you an example of a home, it's just because I want you to see, hey, here's a good example of what your money can get you in this particular area. It does not necessarily mean that when you're watching this, especially if you're watching this a few months later, these homes are going to be gone. That's why you need to call us right now if you're moving, because we can show you what's on the market and help you get one of these homes under contract. 816-4-MOVE-KC. Okay, moving on to number 5. Let's stay on the Kansas side, also in Johnson County, and to nobody's surprise, Prairie Village, Kansas is our number 5 area that has increased comparatively from 2023 to 2024. Now, if you don't know, the locals call it Perfect Village, and it really is a perfect place to live. It's got fantastic school systems. It's got great shopping. If you look at our Prairie Village vlog tour, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Tons of things to do. Very, one of the cutest areas that you can live in Kansas City. Okay, Prairie Village is one of the cutest areas in Kansas City. It is extremely charming. You're going to have mature trees, beautiful houses. People keep their houses really well there because they know the reputation of Prairie Village. In 2022, Zillow named Prairie Village the number 1 place to live, or at least the number 1 search area, according to Zillow. So everybody loves Prairie Village. It is a highly desirable area. And one of the reasons I think why is this is a combination of being in Johnson County, Kansas, which is one of the most desirable areas in terms of counties in the metro. But it's also located very close to Midtown, downtown, everything that you could want to do in Kansas City. Prairie Village is very close to. It's very, parts of Prairie Village actually touch the border of Kansas and Missouri. So just go one street over from Kansas City, Missouri, and you're in Prairie Village. A lot of people just love that area. A house goes on in Prairie Village and it's gone like that. I remember I had a buyer who was going to offer list price in Prairie Village, cash offer, list price. By the time we called the listing agent, she had said, look, we've got 3 or 4 offers already. It is well over list price, so if you want to take your best shot, you can. We went in 10 over list, still did not get the house. And in this market, when it has slowed down, now, if it was like 2021 or 2022, that would be more understandable. But in this market where things have slowed down, that was really surprising to me. But again, not so surprising because it is Perfect Village, or it is Prairie Village. Let me show you a home in Prairie Village so that you can get an idea of what you can expect for your money there. Okay, look at this beautiful home in Prairie Village. This one's for $575,000, and if you keep watching, I'll get you the stats to Prairie Village. You can see this one has been completely remodeled. The deck is brand new. It's freshly painted. It's nicely staged. It is a beautiful home. You've got tons of open living areas, and this type of like modern door, they're doing that a lot in Prairie Village. You know, another thing that they're doing in Prairie Village, they're completely tearing down older homes and just building these brand new modern looking homes right on top of it. This is not a complete teardown. This is a really nice remodel or refresh of a home in Prairie Village, and you've got a lot of square footage in this one. I think it's just a little bit over 2,000 square feet of living area in this split level home in Prairie Village. And so of course you want to know the stats in Prairie Village. Well, last year, the average price point home in Q3 of 2023 was $593,000, and it has climbed almost $100,000 to $677,000. That is a 14% increase, huge increase in Prairie Village. Last year, the median price point went from $446 in quarter three of 2023 to $495,000 in quarter four of 2024. That's a 10.92% increase. Combine those two, you get a 12.5% increase. Prices of homes in Prairie Village. As you can see, popular area. You're going to need to be quick if you're looking in Prairie Village. Once a home hits the market, you got to get there. You got to make an offer. If it's priced right and it's well done, it is going to go fast. Now, number 4 is an area that we have never covered on the channel, and that is Bates City, Missouri. Bates City, Missouri. And I want to give you a little caveat here. Bates City, there's only 7 sales to go off of. But the numbers are the numbers, okay? It's still on the list because this area does continue the trend of rural areas growing more than the city center. People who are wanting to move out a little bit farther. It's not too far out there. It's like 30 minutes from downtown, so comparable in travel time to a Smithville or a Kearney. It's not too difficult to get out there, or same as Excelsior Springs. And on these videos, these top 10 areas that have improved, we've seen areas like Odessa before. We've seen areas like Buckner before. Bates City is going to be very similar to that. Let me show you where Bates City is on a map, because you might just be saying, hey, where is that? And that's a fair question. Okay, so you can see here the Kansas City Metro. Downtown Kansas City is right here. Bates City is out past Oak Grove and in between Oak Grove and Odessa. So it's this little town right here. Honestly, I only know like one person who's ever lived in Bates City, and he's like, look, there's not much stuff to do out there. There's really not much. If you kind of drop right into Highway Z, which is right in the middle of town, I mean, this is pretty much what I would expect. You have some places with land. These people probably are living on 1 or 2 acres, depending on how deep this lot goes back there. And that's basically it. There's not much to do. There's a few places to shop. There's Bates City Barbecue, but people are wanting to move out there. And a lot of these unincorporated areas here that aren't officially Bates City, they would probably show up as Bates City addresses on the MLS. I have clients who have moved out to Oak Grove. They love it. I've had clients who have moved out to Odessa. They love it. Never anybody out to Bates City. I've had people who've called from the channel that moved out to Green Valley. Also enjoyed that as well. So what you're going to have to see is that you're not super far away from the center of the metro. So if we go Bates City to like downtown Kansas City, let's see how far this is. It's about 30 minutes, right? Okay, right on the dot. 29 minutes. It's not going to take that long because you're just going to take the 70 all the way down past the stadium and shoot right into the heart of downtown. So it's not super far, and there's not much to go off of, only 7 sales. But let's look at the stats and let's see how much Bates City has grown. Okay, according to the stats, last year in 2023, the average home price was $380,000 in Bates City. That has since grown to $414,000 in 2024, which is a 9% increase. The median home price has jumped up a lot. And with 7 sales, again, this is not the best numbers to go off of, but hey, look, we're just going off of the stats and what it spits out. It went from $355,000 all the way, a huge jump, to $440,000. That's the median home price. And again, median is a little bit more finicky than average, because if you don't know anything about math, median is literally the middle number. So in quarter 3, that might have been different, but you can see the trend is definitely up, because the median home price has gone up about 25%. Combined, that's a 16% increase. Again, with 7 sales, that's not a lot to go off of. So keep on watching, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and make sure you keep on watching when we do the list of quarter 4, and then eventually the list of the entire comparison from 2023 to 2024 to really see which areas have grown in Kansas City. I'm so curious to see what that list is, but we're still in quarter 4. We're still buying homes, helping people buy and sell and move into Kansas City and do all this kind of stuff. So I'm very, very curious to see how this list is going to shake out at the very end. But Bates City is on this list. You could put an asterisk on there if you want, but you can't put an asterisk on the next area, which is our number 3 area, getting into the top 3. And we will get into honorable mentions before we get into the number 1 spot. So you're going to want to stick around for that. But the number 3 area is Lawson, Missouri. Lawson, Missouri, again, continuing that trend of areas that are 25 to 30 minutes away from the center of Kansas City, because people are wanting to move out of the city. I don't know why. Just from my perspective and from my experience, and this is all anecdotal, I see a lot of people who are moving out to these areas like Lawson. Now, if you don't know where Lawson is, let's look at Lawson on a map. So with Lawson, you've got to go up from Kearney and Excelsior Springs. You continue on Highway 69 and you hit Lawson up here. It's going to be very similar to Bates City. Is there a lot to do? I don't really think so. Hidden Valley Golf Course is a great golf course, though. I will tell you that if you want to go for a cheap round, about 30 minutes out from the center of the metro, Hidden Valley Golf Course, that's a good place to hit up. I had my best round of golf there in the metro, and it was a ton of fun. But you're really getting up there. As you can see, you're almost out of the Kansas City metro, and I know there's some debate of where the Kansas City metro ends, but I think Lawson is still squarely in the metro. But Lawson has gone up. Let's go take a look at a home in Lawson, and let me show you what you can get buying a home in Lawson. Okay, this home in Lawson is $385,000. You get 2,700 square feet and on 1.3 acres. So you can see it's a pretty nice house built back in 1996. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. You've got acreage here so that you can, and this is Lawson, right? If you move out there, you spend a decent chunk of change, you're going to get a lot like this. You're going to get a place where you can let your kids run around. Homesteading is super popular up there. You can see, man, this is a nice stone mantle. You've got this kind of catwalk area that I think people are liking. So this is a market. This is a house that is on the market right now in Lawson, and people like it not only because, I mean, you're not going to get a big amount of land for $385,000 in like downtown area or even in Johnson County, but you move out to Lawson, you can. And I think a lot more people are getting more and more attracted to the fact that, hey, we can have land, we can let our kids roam around, we can grow stuff, we can have chickens, we can have goats. That's the most common thing that I hear is chickens and goats. You got this workout place and this catwalk that's pretty cool. These look like decent sized bedrooms. You've got a lot of living space. Oh, look at this. Look at this design in the bathroom. Wow, okay, so this one has a golf driving range. Okay, so if you don't know what this is a SkyTrack. You can hit the ball out here. Man, this is my dream. Honestly, I would move out to Lawson to do this. This is super cool. You got this gazebo out there. Man, cool area out in Lawson. So if that's what you want a driving range in your home, you want a launch simulator, move out to Lawson, pay $385,000, and you got it. Let me get you the stats in Lawson. Lawson, last year in Q3 of 2023, the average home price was $298,000. This year, it has climbed all the way up to $361,000. Last year, the median home price was $242,000, and it has climbed all the way up to $327,000. Man, that is a 35% increase. And you combine those two numbers, it is a 28% increase year over year. Now, I almost can't believe that there are areas that are outpacing Lawson with that amount of increase, at least in Q3 of 2024 compared to Q3 of 2023. That is a huge increase if you know anything about how home prices increase. But that just goes to show that's why you need to call our team. That's why you need to watch our channel, because we are giving you the most up-to-date news about the housing market here in Kansas City. So Lawson, super desirable area. People like being out there because it is very much small town, and you can get land for cheap. You can get land for a lot cheaper than you could in Liberty or even in Kearney. So people who are wanting land, wanting a big area, move out to Lawson, move out to Excelsior Springs, move out to Bates City. We're seeing all of these areas on the list, and I am not surprised because I see this trend a lot. Now, number 2 is actually right kind of in the heart of the metro, and that is Riverside, Missouri. Now, not many people know about Riverside. It is a really small city on the northwest area of the metro. So let's go here. You can see that, you have to zoom in a lot more to even find Riverside. Riverside is right here. Okay? It is this area right below Parkville, right next to North Kansas City, that borders the Missouri River. This is Riverside. Now, one thing to know about Riverside, if you were going to buy homes here, you've got a great school system. Park Hill School District is in Riverside. Now, one thing that you need to know, and please, if you decide to move to Riverside, then you are going to need to call us, because there are a lot of floodplains in Riverside. That doesn't mean every house in Riverside is a floodplain, but this river or creek or stream or whatever it is that runs through Riverside, I have helped clients buy homes that are near there, and we have to check and double check and triple check that they are not in a flood zone. because I have had clients who have, fallen in love with the home, and the flood premiums that they would have to pay completely make that home unaffordable. You don't want to get into that situation. So if you're thinking about Riverside at all, or if you're thinking about anywhere in the Kansas City metro, our team knows how to help you avoid these flood zones and these flood areas. Riverside has them. It's not the only place in the metro that has them, but again, you're going to need to know how to avoid them. Now, let me show you this home in Riverside to show you what your money can get for you there. And then we're going to dive into the stats. Now, this is a new construction in Riverside, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,700 square feet for $643,000. And one of the things about these Riverside neighborhoods, some of them are really undulating. You got a lot of change in elevation in some of these neighborhoods. Not all of them, but in some of them. You can see new build, mudroom. Man, love a good mudroom. You can see on my home tours as we walk through, as we tour these areas. Love a good mudroom. Love these exposed beams. This is a very, probably not a structural thing that is functionally structural or supporting the ceiling or anything, really supporting anything. It's just more aesthetic, really cool. Beautiful flooring, beautiful new kitchen, nice new chandelier where you could put a nice round table there. Man, cool place to be. Brand new home for $647,000. Massive home for $647,000. This looks like a reverse 1.5. So it's probably got a couple living rooms, a couple rooms down at the bottom. Yep, you got a bottom bar. It's got a walkout basement. Really cool area. Riverside, Missouri is definitely an area that you're going to want to check out. Let's get to the stats with Riverside. Now, the average home price in Riverside has gone up from $534,000 to $667,000. That is an increase of over $130,000, if you can believe it. That's a 25% increase. Almost unbelievable, right? Median home price, listen to this. It went from $457,000 to $645,000, which is a 41% increase. When I was looking at these stats and reading these, I almost could not believe my eyes. Total combined, that's a 33% increase year over year of homes in Riverside. I think because there's a lot of new construction going on there. There's a lot of resale homes are going just like hotcakes there. I have a client who's about to list in Riverside, wanting to find a place to move to. And a lot of our conversation is, hey man, like when's the right time to list? Because I know once your house hits the market, it is going to get an offer and you're going to need to be out. And you're going to need to find a home that you like. So we're trying to find a home that we like now. And it's hard to find a home because, the timing of it all is just really difficult for somebody who lives in such a hot area because he doesn't want to sell his home out from underneath him without finding something else. So that's Riverside. Now, before we get to the number one area, which if you couldn't believe those Riverside numbers, you won't believe these numbers in this area. Let's look at honorable mentions in Liberty. The average home price has increased 5.6% year over year, and from $343,000 to $362,000. That was the first one off the list. In Buckner, which is continuing our trends of areas that are kind of rural out there, the average home price has increased from $228,000 to $251,000, which is a 10% increase. And in Shawnee, the average home price has increased from $434,000 to $470,000, which is an 8% increase. So those are the first three off the list: Liberty, Buckner, and Shawnee. Now, as we get to number one, you'll never guess it. We've talked about it only briefly on this channel, and that is Weatherby Lake. Now, listen to these stats before I show you this house to close out this video. Before I show you this house in Weatherby Lake, listen to these stats. They're almost unbelievable. The average home price in Weatherby Lake has climbed from $583,000 in quarter three of 2023 to $883,000. $883,000. That's a $300,000 difference, a 51% increase. Just like your mind is completely blown. And when I show you this area on a map, you're going to see why. Now, you might say, well, what's the median change? What's the median home price change? Well, the median home price has changed from $490,000 to $678,000 in Weatherby Lake. You take those two numbers, combine them together, that's a 44% increase in Weatherby Lake. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you can explain it, but let me show you this area and you probably would understand why people love living in Weatherby Lake. Weatherby Lake is a small little community over here. And if you grew up in the Los Angeles, Southern California area like I did, then you probably went to Lake Arrowhead. Weatherby Lake reminds me of a much, much smaller Lake Arrowhead. You've got these windy roads that kind of take you around, and you got homes all along this lake. You can boat, you can fish, you can do all the things that you can do in a lake. And what I really enjoy about Weatherby Lake is these little parks, like this little park right in the middle. This is King Park. I remember driving past that on a showing, and I was like, man, I didn't even know these parks were up here. You can see this Christhaven Park right here. Man, my kids would just love areas like that. And they're all like right near each other. And they're all really small, probably, 10,000 square feet, I would say. All right, Birmingham Park, let's see, where is it? Yeah, just like a quaint little sitting area. You've got an area where you can just kind of enjoy the day. It's just full of areas like this. And nobody knows about these parks except for probably people in this community, because you're not going to travel all the way across the metro to go to these little parks. But I would imagine that living in this community in Weatherby Lake, these parks are very, very enjoyable and very, very cool. So let's take a look at a home in Weatherby Lake and see what all the fuss is about. So let's take a look at this home. This home is $758,000 in Weatherby Lake. It is a newer home, 2018, 15,000 square foot lot, 3,000 square foot, 3,200 I should say, square foot home. Newer build. Really nice, nicely maintained. You can see the lake off in the distance, and you can get homes that are a lot closer to the lake, and you can see in the distance you can get homes on the lake, but just a really immaculately maintained, beautifully upkept home in one of the most desirable areas in the Kansas City metro. If you have this, if you want to live in just an area that is climbing like crazy, then this is probably the area that you're going to want to target in 2024 and beyond, because people love living up here. And then the one thing is, when you live in Weatherby Lake, you're not super far away from anything. You're probably, depending on the area where you live in, you might be only, what I would say, 15, 20 minutes from downtown Kansas City, if that's where you want to be. You're super close to everything in the metro. So Weatherby Lake is our number one area. Now, if you want to see the opposite list of areas that have lost value comparatively from 2023 to 2024, click right here.